Hi guys, so today I'll be showing how to send a mail using SMTP in Python. For that, first thing is we need to do is from which mail ID we are sending. That Google account should switch the less secure apps attribute as on. Okay, so basically what it means is we have a concept called less secure apps in Google. If you go there, so there will be one switch to make it on or off. So what it means is if you switch it on, that means any third-party application or code or whatever you are using to integrate that with Google, it will allow. Okay, and if it is switched off, Google won't allow any kind of third party to integrate with Google account, this account. So in order to use SMTP to connect to Gmail, we need to switch it on. So this is the first thing we need to do. Then we need to install some libraries. Okay, so I'll show you what are the libraries we need. First thing is we need to install Python in our system. So if you type Python in your CMD and if it is installed, you will get this message with the version name. Okay, so first library we want to use is SMTPlib. So SMTPlib means this module helps to connect SMTP server with our code. Okay, that is the main connection. Next is OS. OS will definitely be installed in your system because it comes by default with Python. It helps to interact with local directories in your system. Okay, and next is email library. This will contain, all the things we are going to do, like creating a message, creating an attachment, those kind of things. This email will handle, this library will handle. And another thing is config parser. I think this is also a default library, you don't need to install. So you need to install this also if it is not there in your system. So this will help to get the values from a config file. And if you are not having any one of these or all of these libraries, you will get this kind of error. Suppose I am giving a random uh, text, it will throw module not found error because this module doesn't exist in Python library. So if you don't have anything like this, you are getting any kind of message as module not found error. Okay, so you need to install that particular library. So what you have to do is you have to type pip3 or pip. If you are using more version 3 or more, you have to use pip3, or otherwise you can use pip also, and the library you want to install. Okay, so that's it about installing libraries. So these are the libraries we need: config, parser, email, OS, and SMTPlib. So I'll go with writing the code now. First thing we need to do is we need to define a function. Okay, so this function will take few arguments. Okay, so sender means this will be containing the sender address, receiver address, subject of the mail, body of the mail, SMTP server. For example, Gmail, we have smtp.gmail.com, we can use that, and the directory path of the attachments if we have any. So next thing is we'll be importing the libraries. First thing is we'll import smtplib, then we'll import the OS library, then we'll import mime text from email. So this mime is basically, it's allows codes or users to put characters in the mail. Otherwise mail if you are not using a mime, it's a standard library for internet messaging. So if you're not using mime, then that means you can only use ASCII characters. That is uh, what we have, our alphabets A to Z. So any other characters or any other content, type of content like HTML we want to send, we need to use mime. Okay. So that is the concept of mime. Okay. So from mime we have lot of different things. I will talk about that later. And also we need to install we can install one other thing that will help in using different types of message. Okay, and also we need to install one exception, sorry, not install, import one exception from SMTP lib. So this will come when we'll be failed like to connect with our server. So this kind of exception helps to handle those kind of errors. And also we need a config parser library to read the config file. So first thing is, like, we have this config file here that will contain my username and password for my Gmail. So I'm using one config file, you can use anything else. So it's just to avoid, showing the credentials in the code. So I'll be reading the credentials from here. First thing is we need to create an object for config parser. So we have a config parser object. Now we have to create the file config.read, and we'll take the path of this file. Right click, copy as path, paste here. And also we should put it as a raw string, because in Python this slash characters means escape sequence. So whatever the characters we have afterwards, this slash, it will escape that sequence or escape that character. So if you're putting R, that means you're putting this thing as a whole string. So this character won't be seen as a escape character, it will be seen as a normal character, as inside a string. Okay, otherwise it will throw one error. Now we have read the file. Now we need to do is we need to get the username and password. Okay, config, sorry, we have credentials section. Inside the credentials section we have the attribute username. So in order to understand the config parser, definitely you can go and check the docs for Python. So you will understand like how that structure is there for INI files and how you can access it. Okay, config credentials, this one we have password. So inside this section we have this attribute, and this attribute is containing the value. Okay, and same as for this also. Okay, so we have done reading the config file. Next thing we need to do is we need to create an object from mime. So first thing we will do, we'll create a mime multipart object. Now what we'll do is we'll create to and from. It will be to means receiver. Whatever you are sending as an argument, just pass it here. and also this from will be like the sender, that is also definitely you have to pass it from here, this sender you keep it here. Okay, that's all. And also we'll define the subject here. Subject will be subject, this thing, pass it here. Okay, so next thing is we need to create the body of our message. So what we'll do is we'll create a MIME text object, and this will take the body content which will be passed as an argument, and this I will make it, this arguments I'll make it as HTML, because we can pass HTML content also. So if you put it as HTML, this will take text content also and also HTML, and we can specify the character encoding here. So as of now I am using UTF-8. You can use UTF-16 or 32 if you want. So I have the body created, then I'll just attach that to our this object, my multi-part object. Attach body. So my sender, receiver, subject and body part is done. Now I have to take the attachments from the folder and put that inside the message. So to do that we need to, so if this directory path is mentioned in the argument, we need to take this directory path, go inside that and take files one by one. To do that we will use os.walk function. Okay, so this walk it means like it will go one by one inside that folder and take the files. Okay, that's all. So it uses to approach top to bottom and bottom to up. So we can mention that in the argument here, but we don't need, because anyway we need all the files, so it doesn't matter the direction. So this F means it will contain all the file names inside this folder. Okay, so we need to iterate through all the files there. Before that, what we need to do is we need to create one files list that will contain all the files. So I'll append those file names. So this will contain the file names, so I need the path of that file names. So what I have to do is we need to join that path here. So this will be the root directory, so the root will be there, and after that we need to pass the file name. So that means this file. Okay, so this will go one by one till all the files are completed, and it will be stored in this list. So my file is done. Now if I'll check the directory path is empty or not. So if it is not none, what we'll do is we'll redirect the files. Okay, and we will attach the files. So to attach we need to use this MIME application function. This will take the files and attach in the message body. So first thing is we need to open the file. We have the file path here, so we need to open the file. So we need to pass the file path and put it in read mode, because we are reading the file from that path. And then we need to pass this is just an argument we need to pass, so that we are taking the text and we are reading that file. So the type of the path here is string, so we need to pass this as a subtype as text. The next thing is we need to add the headers of the file names. Okay, so what I will do is like attachment dot add headers, content disposition, disposition. So this basically means like so whenever we open a mail and if we have an attachment on it, so we see the file name, right? And if we click the file name, then only that file opens, correct? So this allows a user interaction to open the file. Okay, that is the concept behind this content disposition. And the argument also it takes both inline and attachment. So if I put attachment, it will ask, it will wait for user to do some kind of actions to open that file, and also file name. So I'll just pass the file path as the file name here. Everything is done. So now what I need to do is I need to attach that inside the message. So it is done now. So as of now I think everything is fine. We have defined the to from subject, body is defined, attachment is defined. Now we need to create the server. So we'll use SMTP live as I have imported before, and said that we need SMTP function, and this SMTP server will be getting from user. It can be Gmail or anything. So our connection is complete. We have initialized our connection. Now what we need to do is we need to open a secure connection. So this TLS means transport layer security. So it will open a secure connection, and since it is secure, you need to pass a login function here with username and password. That's why I have taken it from config file here, my username and password, and I have stored in to these two variables. So I'll just pass the username and password here. So my login is complete. Now I need to send the mail. That's all. So I'll just take this one from to and the message. Done. So I have sent the mail. Now we have to close the connection because everything is done. So after this, and also one more thing, we can put this inside a try, because if something fails we can handle that afterwards. Okay, and this will return success, and also will return a timeout error, because sometimes what happens is it takes too much time to connect and it fails. So we can handle that also. Okay, done. So basically that's it, I guess. And the thing is we need to just call the function here and see if it works. First thing is sender, so I'll just give my mail ID. Okay, and I'll be sending this mail to myself, so I'll just keep the receiver as my mail ID only. Next thing subject, so I'll just put hello there, something. Hello there is fine. and body will be like bonjour. Now we need to pass the SMTP server. So this will be my Gmail SMTP server. So Gmail SMTP server address is this one. We no need to pass a port here. Directory path. So my attachments are in this file. Shift right click, copy as path, and sorry, paste it here. And also remember to put is a so if one second, I think you are not able to see this. Wait one second. I think now you can see. So basically you need to pass the directory path here and just make sure you are passing it as a raw string here. So that's done. And also I'll just print the return message success or something. Done. Okay, so I'll try to run this and see. Okay, cannot import name SMTPException from SMTP lib. Okay, so this is throwing some error, this exception part, when I'm trying to call this SMTP function, this library, it shouldn't throw anyway. SMTP lib. Okay, as of now I'll just comment this out and see if other parts are working. So it showed a success message, so I'll go and check in my mail. So I got the mail with the attachment also. Okay, so this is the subject, body, attachments. So this is it. So I'll just try to find like why this throw an exception here, but it shouldn't anyway. But anyway, this part is working fine, no problem with this. The main content of this one is working fine. And if you're able to find why this is throwing an error, you can just post in the comment. Okay, so that's it. I think you have enjoyed this video. Thank you guys.